Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout Speed Round, where we answer a quick question every Wednesday through Friday to keep our podcasting fun going all week long. Today we have a special Speed Round guest. I am here with Tim Myers, who is the author of Glad to be Dad, A Call to Fatherhood. And Tim, I know that humor in parenting is one of your strong suits, so I'm going to ask you today, what are some ways that humor has helped you as a parent, other than just keeping you from going into a dark room and crying?
Well, actually, I think that sums it up in some ways. We do want to stay out of the dark room crying,
We
although
do.
it does happen. I also appreciate your saying that humor is my strong suit. There are people in my family who would disagree with that. But it is obviously, parenting is a challenge. Parenting in the modern world has become more challenging in some ways. And, getting through it means that not only that you have a skill set as a parent, but also that you have a psychological strength and resilience, right. and humor can be tremendously helpful in that. I find that just so in two simple ways. One is simple stress relief in the moment. My
Definitely.
kids learned pretty early that they could sometimes get away with stuff if they were funny, which is not always the best thing for discipline, but it certainly was a great stress reliever.
That's a decent life skill right there.
Well, absolutely. I was going to say it can be manipulated and misused, but it's a very good life skill. And so not only is there that immediate and very precious aspect of humor, which helps parents just cope, deal with it. But I find, too, that it's incredibly important in that humor sometimes at the most unlikely times can give us perspective.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, when it comes to parenting, perspective is absolutely crucial.
Definitely.
So I know that my kids, one of the things I really recommend to parents is keeping what my family came to call the kids' books. So my wife kept the baby books. The baby books are classic baby books with pictures and developmental milestones and all that kind of thing. And they're beautiful. But I decided to keep the kids' books, which was anytime my kids would say or do something, or I'd paste in pictures they brought home from school. The key point here is that a lot of these things, Terry, would have been lost to my family.
Yeah.
Usually we tell a few family stories over because those kind of make the cut. But my family is incredibly grateful to me, which is really gratifying to me because of things that we would have lost.
Yeah.
So, for example, one of the things about working with kids, being a parent is a great advantage, is that there's more humor inherent in kids than there is in, say, working in an office or in a factory, right? So at one point, my little girl, who's now 26, she would have these pitched battles between her two index fingers. So she named one Stinky Pan for whatever reason, who was naturally the boy. And the other one was Lady-O, and the two of them would fight with each other and argue. And on occasion, they would actually attack her and start pulling her braids and stuff. So, this is a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old. Yeah. That kind of thing in your daily life. And of course, the thing about being a parent is there's so much to do.
Yeah.
Your mind is almost and often completely overwhelmed with A to B to C to D. Oh my God, D didn't work. Let's go back to E. Any parent knows this. Yeah. So you get so laser focused on practicalities, which are pressing and important.
Sure.
That the humor actually takes you and causes you to step back.
Yeah.
So at one point, and my book is full of this kind of thing. At one point, I was going crazy, running through the house, trying to get my kid ready to go to pre-K. Her brothers had already been out to school. We'd made lunch. I could list 10 more things that I had to do.
Right.
And I had 10 more things in front of me to do. And I go walking past the bathroom, and I see that my daughter has filled the bathtub with balloons. Oh. So the bathtub is filled to the top with balloons. So there must have been 20, 30 balloons in there. We'd gotten her a cheap bag of balloons. Yeah. And I thought, my first thought, and oh my God, Terry, I need to confess this. My first thought is, why the hell is the tub full of balloons? Because this is just one more thing I have to do, right? Yeah. So I'm striding through the house, picking things up, putting stuff away, dishes in the dishwasher, laundry, that whole thing. And suddenly, I think I was at the wash machine, and I suddenly stop and go, oh my God, my bathtub is full of balloons. This is beautiful. Yeah. I want to live in a house where the bathtub would suddenly, for no reason, be full of balloons. It seemed like a perfect symbol. I mean, that's what kids bring into your life. They have that. They bring all their work, and you have to do all these things to help them out and grow and learn. But what a beautiful thing, a bathtub full of balloons.
And somebody's got some good lung capacity too. Yeah.
There you go. There's positive parenting. There's perspective. That's where you step back and say, sure, I may have to take those balloons out of the bathtub, but by the way, let's leave them there for a while.
Right.
It's awesome. But lung capacity, it's helping the kid. And, I think too, you made a really good point a moment ago. These are skills that are handed down to children when parents model.
Uh-huh.
So the parents' response to these moments of humor can be really great for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So at another point, my sons did all kinds of funny things too. Well, in fact, I'll tell you one. One of my sons at one point, my wife was, somehow the question of passing gas came up, as it sometimes does in a household with kids in it, particularly boys. If that's sexist, I apologize. And my wife made the point in a very serious way that doctors sometimes use human flatulence as a diagnostic tool. Right, to tell if you're sick or not. So I think my son Nick was probably 5 or 6 at the time, and she's saying, "Well," my son says, "Well, how can doctors tell anything about you from that?" And my wife's saying, like, "Well, the odor, or it could be indigestion or whatever."
Yeah.
My son's quiet for a moment, and he looks at her with the most serious look in his eyes, and he says, "Does it mean anything if it's loud?" Now, again, this would have been lost forever if I hadn't written down in the book, because we'd forgotten it. And we read it in the book some years later, and it came up.
And you're saying your sons are grateful that you have preserved these and shared them with the world?
Oh, actually, they are now. There were times, a teenager doesn't want to read that story about himself.
Here, let me talk to your prom date. I've got a good story for her.
Well, isn't that what parents want to do without the naked baby on the rug picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
All different uses of humor, we would say.
That's right. Well, humor can be a weapon.
That's right. Well, that seems like a good note for us to stop on.
All right.
That's it for today's Speed Round. Come back tomorrow for another question and visit parentingroundabout.com for all our group chats and other weekly episodes.
Hey, before you speed off from this speed round, please consider listening to all our podcast episodes, short and long, on the Radio Public app. It costs you nothing, and we get a little change for every listen. Thanks for the support.